Welcome to the July Highlights, the first of a series of episodes compiling the best bits throughout the month. There is so much going on in the night, and just like me, the vast majority of you will be asleep, so I've decided to release videos of all the highlights. Back near the beginning of the month, after I first put the shelter down for the hedgehogs, I used to clean it out daily and put more hedgehog biscuits inside. This was a special day for me, as I had never thought, not once, that a hedgehog would use the shelter in the day. I was wrong. Although as soon as I peeked under the lid, I placed it back down, hoping not to disturb him too much. Thankfully, even though he hasn't used it to sleep in again, he still comes back and visits every night, as we shall see. The very next evening, both hedgehogs have been seen. However, this one, the smaller of the two, is still out foraging for food. What is notable about this is that if you look at the sky in the background, the sun is clearly rising. This hedgehog hops up onto the rockery and disappears just before full daylight, which tells me he's taken shelter somewhere close, and I still haven't figured out where yet. As the sun brings a new day, it also acts as nature's alarm clock and signals the birds and squirrels to come to feed off the tables and ground. The pigeons are always amongst the first to arrive, along with the squirrels. Not long after, the starlings tend to turn up in their droves, although recently, since the fledglings have become independent, they have been visiting the wild garden more in the evenings once tea time feed has been put out. The pigeons, which are a consequence of bird feeders, love to feed off the peanuts and annoyingly will throw out anything that isn't food that they like to consume, such as the mealworms and any fruit that they have left out. Happily though, this isn't such a problem. Sometimes entire trays of nuts get thrown onto the ground. However, this is not the pigeons as I initially thought. It was the squirrels jumping through the feeders, and birds such as this jay, one of my favourites to visit, they will take them straight off the ground. Also, incidentally, one of the trickiest to film a photograph. They're in and out before you have time to react. A couple of days later, whilst reviewing the overnight footage in the morning, I became quite nervous when the cat showed up. Why is he chilling outside the hedgehog shelter? Then, my worst fears, the little guy turns up, only to see the cat off in true hedgehog headbutting style. I'm not sure if this cat is just mellow, has no idea what the hedgehog is, or has he had a bad encounter previously. We may never know. It has been known that some insects are attracted to the eye or camera light, however, some reflect the light. When I originally reviewed the footage, I wasn't sure what I was seeing. Close up, however, it's an invertebrate of some kind with wings. I'm currently trying to research this up and I will get back to you when I find out. If anyone has any ideas, please post in the comments below. Later that morning, and squirrels being squirrels, are enjoying an early morning breakfast when suddenly interrupted by a neighbourhood cat. Unlike the previous encounter, which was another cat with a hedgehog, I wasn't concerned too much. I've heard many cat squeals and not squirrel cries from their encounters. There are approximately 8 to 10 squirrels that come to the garden from all directions, and 3 cats, 2 of which have most definitely learnt the hard way. The next night the hedgehogs were busy as usual, Scruff, the larger of the two, staying up to the very last minute before making his way to where he sleeps for the day. I can only speculate that he either lives underneath the neighbour's shed at the bottom of the garden, but isn't very much room to get through, or he lives in the wild garden near or underneath the composter in the bottom corner next to my shed. He could live behind there, but not under, as it's on several inches of concrete. As the sun rises, and with it brings another busy morning, along with the fledgling blackbirds. The parents have been incredibly tame and wait for me patiently on the fence to put the food out as they have had grown babies to feed. This was the day that they came with their parents and watched and learnt to feed for themselves. For more information and footage, check out the Species Spotlight Blackbirds. You can find it on the channel, the link will be in the description. Few more days have passed and the fledgling blackbirds are doing well and look healthy. They are now fending for themselves, feeding where their parents have brought them. They are also wary of predators. Not sure what this cat went after, but thankfully ignored these two, and more than likely spotted the elusive squirrel under the gazebo. The next day, business as usual, squirrels being, well, squirrels, knock the feeder tray out of the feeder and themselves along with it. Let's watch that again in slow motion from the ground. Yep, they're okay and business as usual, nothing to see here, just looking for the nuts. Back to the hedgehogs. They are known to be highly territorial, hence showing the cat off previously. When I first saw both hedgehogs together, I knew the smaller of the two was more aggressive as he headbutted the larger one into a curled up ball. I would naturally have loved to show you the footage, but life teaches you things at the most inopportune moments, such as this was the day I learned that you can only have 12 hours of footage on YouTube. These two are in the garden quite often at the same time and strangely hardly ever meet up in the same place, although sometimes I believe the smaller one knows the larger one has been and frantically searches for him. These days, however, when they do come across the larger one, simply backs off and competition seems to be resolved peacefully. Then, everything that I knew, everything that I thought I knew, turned out to be wrong. Let me explain. If you were to go back and review the footage of the wild garden nighttime streams, then you would see as I did, at the same time the hedgehog that we named Scruff visits every night. Few occasions he has bumped into the smaller hedgehog, one we haven't given name to, as of yet. Anyways, they have acted exactly how the books, journals and websites tell us they should act, that hedgehogs are territorial and it is rare for the two to share the same territory. I just presumed up till now that because of the urban environment and a possible lack of food, the wild garden is attracted to them because the birds throw so much food off the tables. It was only about 3 months ago I was looking into buying a hedgehog tunnel tool to make a gap in the fence, on the belief my garden was inaccessible to the little ones. I was wrong then, I am wrong now. In this footage I don't believe any of these two are Scruff, nor them are scratching, nor have scruffy marks on their backsides, like Scruff does. The smaller hedgehog I have been seeing is considerably smaller than Scruff and quite a bit more aggressive. The two who are defying what I believed in on the screen now are neither of the previous mentioned hedgehogs. In fact, these two are quite friendly, although the way in which they back off when they sniff each other closely tells me that they may not know each other, so my regional reasoning, which led me to believe they might be related, is also incorrect. Are they females? Is one male, one female? I don't know. Unfortunately, this isn't something I'm willing to find out. It would require trapping and catching one to pick up and physically check what gender they are. On better news, I've been thrilled to see that there is now a possibility of 4 hedgehogs that visit the wild garden. I will keep checking and do my best to identify each one, and any help would be appreciated. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel. If that subscribe button's red, make it grey. Thank you. Bye.